Good morning, you guys. Day 4 of feeding our starter. And before I start on that, before I empty my dishwasher and get my coffee going and we feed our starter, I wanted to address just a few things and announce a big announcement. So excited. Many of you asked me, Heather, can you get us like a Facebook group or some kind of like, you know, some kind of club group going so that we can log on, show pictures, talk about concerns, talk about progress. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea, because many of you have been trying to post pictures here on YouTube for me, Instagram. I'm getting some Instagram. If you send me and tag me in an Instagram picture, I will post it on my Instagram stories. I learned how to do that. And Facebook. Unfortunately, Facebook, for whatever reason, on my public page on Facebook, it will not allow anybody to post pictures. It is so annoying. So you guys requested it, and I worked really hard along with some of my closest friends to bring it to you. They helped me because, you know, I'm not very tech savvy and I don't have high-speed internet here. Everything I do is through my cellular phone. But we were able to open a Facebook group. So now it's not going to be anything else other than the starter club, okay? It's strictly Kneady's sourdough starter club. That's it. It's a private Facebook group. You're going to have to answer a couple questions. I want to make sure that you're actually making sourdough starter and you're not there just to troll or, you know, be obnoxious or anything like that. We've got some pretty easy to follow community guidelines where it's just going to be a place to support one another as we go through not only making our starter, but then we start using our starter and baking starter. So I'm hoping we can share recipes, we can share pans, bread pans, and just all different kinds of ideas. Like, I want to see where you're storing your starter. I want to see your glass jars. I want to see your crocks. I want to see what you use, what you end up using to put in your fridge when you store your starter. Some of you might store your starter in the freezer. Like, I want to learn all the things. And I know there are some fantastic YouTubers out there. I love Cooking Ireland is my favorite. His name is Patrick. He is fantastic in making sourdough. There's many YouTubers that use sourdough, build sourdough, have done fantastic videos on sourdough. Even though I watch them, I just really felt it's still intimidated by sourdough. And so I thought building a club, a community to do it together would be a blast. And so far, I'm having so much fun. I love seeing your progress. I love hearing, you know, how your success is going. Some of you are struggling. Paul, one of my best friends, Paul, also was struggling with his starter. He got it warmed up in an electric blanket overnight, and just like that, his starter woke up. So for those of you who are still struggling with your starter and it just looks dead and there's no bubbles, it just looks like clay, or like what I said, it looks like I left pancake mix in a jar on my counter for 2 days. I had that struggle with my first starter, and as soon as I warmed it up, it took. Some of you are wondering if you just need to add a little bit of water. You know, you can try all those things, and if you do, I want to hear about it. I want others to hear about it so that as other people are struggling and you're figuring out your starter and what works for you, you can maybe help lift somebody else up. That's the whole point of this. This is why I'm on YouTube. I'm not on YouTube to be a YouTube I cringe YouTube celebrity or anybody popular or anything like that. I'm here for the community and for the support and to learn new things and to grow and evolve and become a better person. And while I'm doing that, help others in their journey to be better people too, and to learn and to be creative and to grow. And you know, you're never too old to learn something new, right? So that's why I'm here. I'm hoping that's why you're here, and having the Sourdough Starter Club is gonna be so much fun. So I hope you join me. I'm gonna leave a link down below. It took us a day or two to get everything kind of set up and safe for you guys. It will be a private group. And if you're watching this 5 years from now, I'm just going to put a disclaimer. This is January 2020. So if you're watching this in 2024, 2025, I don't know if the group will still be there, but as of today, the club is there. So now we have a private club to hang out in, like a real sourdough club. It's so much fun. I can't wait to see all of your pictures. I can't wait to read all of your posts. It's gonna be so exciting. All right, so I'm gonna leave that link down below in the description box. I hope you join and you come hang out. And then without further ado, I'm right now gonna make some coffee and then we're gonna go feed our starter. All right. Good morning and welcome to day 4. All right, so we are going to take this cover off. We're going to, I'm just gonna leave my other starter in there. We'll feed that one later. That is my rye starter, but this is the wheat starter. And there you go, as you guys can see what that looks like. Hold on, let me turn on the big light. Sometimes this big light is helpful, sometimes it's not. And yes, the coloring in my house is on the yellow side because I've got warm lighting in my kitchen. I just do. I can't stand fluorescent lighting. It just makes food look so ugly. I had fluorescent lighting in my last house and I really didn't like it. So, look at that. We're gonna take a look at inside the jar so you guys can see what mine looks like. Oh, look at how spongy. That is beautiful. All right, so this is day 4, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stir this down. I'm gonna flip you around and we're gonna get to feeding. Ah! All right, so here we go. So there is our new jar. I'm using a quart jar still. It isn't until it gets a little bigger that I'll probably go up to a half-gallon jar. I'm gonna get my jar spatula right here, and I'm gonna just go ahead and give this a stir before I pour it into the jar. Now, some of you had questions about throwing some of your starter away. Yes, that is part of it. Every time you go to feed your starter, you're gonna wanna discard some of your starter because otherwise you would have starter the size of Texas if you just kept feeding it and feeding it and feeding it and not discarding any of it. So what I do, now some people discard it and right down the sink, and I do that until the sourdough is well established. Right now, using it, it's really not going to do anything for you because it doesn't have the fermentation flavor yet of sourdough. So once we get it up and running and it's a good starter and it is established, we can start using it. I use the pour off in recipes. Yesterday with my other starter, the pour off, which was about 200 grams, went straight into pancake mix for sourdough pancakes. I made sourdough buttermilk pancakes for Sunday morning breakfast and it was incredible. Oh, like sourdough is seriously gonna change my life. All right, so let's tear this out, Heather. Stop talking. I talk way too much. All right, so we are going to do 100 grams of starter. All right, and I'm really gonna try not to go over today. But we'll see. I probably just jinxed myself now. All right, come on. Come on, Jessie. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. 100 on the nose. All right, so we have 100 grams of starter. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add 100 grams of whole wheat flour. Let me get my flour. I am using stone ground whole wheat flour from King Arthur. And we are going to, I could have just tared that, but that's okay. I just know I need to get up to 200 here. Okay. And my scale is a little cheapy $10 one from Amazon, which is great to start with, but sometimes I struggle with it being accurate. So like that, okay, there we go. 180 it says, all right. So we're close. Ooh, we're so close. All right, we're just gonna get this up to 2 because I didn't tear it. Oh, this is where I get nervous. This is where I get nervous. Like, oh, please just don't go over 100. Oh my gosh. All right, a little bit more. There we go. All right, 200. All right, so 100 starter, 100 whole wheat, and now I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run my water just to get the chill off, just to add it lukewarm. We are gonna add 100 mils of, get that off of there, and we're gonna tare it. See how my scale just changed like that? I don't know. I don't know how accurate. I really should think about getting like a little bit nicer of a scale. I'm checking Facebook Marketplace, see if I can't get a nice used one that somebody doesn't love anymore and it needs to be rehomed. All right, let me grab my water. Now we're gonna add 100 grams or 100 mLs of lukewarm water. If you're using bottled water, just warm it up slightly. Personally, I have had way better results with using the lukewarm water than using just room temp. Just make it like a baby bottle. Oh, this is where I get nervous. Let's see if I can get it to 100. Woo! 101. I'm okay with that. All right, so I'm gonna move that to the side. And then I'm going to take my spatula here. I don't know if you guys can see that. We're just going to give this a nice stir. Making sure you scrape the bottom and the sides because you just don't want any lumpy flour in there. Make sure that it's all nice and incorporated. This is where this jar scraper from KitchenAid really comes in handy because it's nice and thin and small and it can really get in there. And it's got a long enough handle. I have bad hands, so like, having control over things like this just seem to be more and more difficult for me every year. All right, that looks good. That looks like it's nice and mixed. So I'm going to put a band on mine today. Some of you asked on my other sourdough starter why Walter had a bow tie, and that is because I could put a band, I think, all the way around. I don't know if it'll stretch though. I should see if it'll stretch. Grab a little cloth here. Let's see. I have these bands for the holiday that I used. Let's see if I can actually get it around a jar. Right. Some of you are using rubber bands, which I think is genius. These are actually drinking bands that I bought for everybody's glasses for the holiday, so that I didn't have to write everybody's name with Sharpie, because you know Sharpie rubs off on your hands when you're drinking from a solo cup. It's annoying. So, all right, let me get my band on here all the way around. It's nice and even. And what this shows us is the growth. So when this starts waking up and coming alive, it will move past the span, it'll grow up the jar. So we can see exactly how much growth we've had, how much activity we've had, some expansion. So there you go. That's what mine looks like this morning on day 4. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have whole wheat. I have the other one that I'm making is a rye starter. I'm really excited about having a whole wheat starter. The possibilities are going to be endless, you guys. So I'm going to put the lid on that nice and loose. As far as this goes, I'll show you how much starter I'm going to be pouring out. So it's quite a bit more than yesterday. But this is no good to us yet. This is not sour enough to actually use in a recipe. So it is kind of wasted, but that's just part of building sourdough. So yeah, I'll be discarding mine, but eventually this won't be discarded. Eventually this will be used in breads and pancakes and I mean even sourdough cinnamon rolls. Okay, I'm so excited. All right, my dog is waking up. I have to take him out. My kids are waking up. I'm going to go feed my other starter. I'm going to put this in my dehydrating box just where it can keep nice and warm. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning for day 5, where I think day 5, we increase our starter a bit. So we grow it a little bit tomorrow. I'm excited. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow morning.